Alright, UEFA Conference League time. Match day 3 of 6, the halfway point of the campaign in the league phase. Let's have a look at the highlight games from this round of fixtures in the tertiary competition of European football. And we're going to start in Cyprus, where Aberdeen managed to get a point. This is not a bad point at all, I will be honest, especially against a side like Larnaca, who had won their opening 2 games of the Conference League campaign. Indeed, they managed to beat Crystal Palace, one of the favourites for the tournament, away from home in the previous match day. This is a great result. Aberdeen, they just came there, they shut up shop, they had basically no possession, no chances. They parked the bus, they put the handbrake on, nothing was getting through. In the end, that is a good point away from home, Aberdeen need to get some wins on the board to be able to make the playoffs, but that's a decent point away from home for them because they've been really poor this season in all competitions. That very much a good draw. That's a good point away from home. A fantastic point away from home as well for Shamrock Rovers, but it could have and should have been so much more. They could have won it. It was a penalty from Graham Burke after 21 minutes that put Shamrock 1-0 up. And by the way, this is an AEK Athens side that managed to get a 6-0 victory against Aberdeen last time out. I mean, Aberdeen, as we've seen, have been abysmal this season, but still, 6-0 win at home. Shamrock almost got the win. It was a 90th minute penalty from Luka Jovic that equalised for the Greek side. Shamrock have been really bad in Europe so far this season. I think they lost both of their opening 2 games. This is a big point. Don't get me wrong, it's a good result, but it could have and should have been so much more. I mean, Athens absolutely battered the door down. They had so much of the possession and opportunities, but in the end, it was only good enough for 1 goal. It was only good enough for a draw. Shamrock will take pride in that, and hopefully they will kick on and get some victories. They've got some chances, especially at home in the remaining 3 match days. I've mentioned Crystal Palace a few times. Let's talk about how they did. They got back to winning ways against AZ Alkmaar. 3-1 victory, and it could have and should have been more, to be honest with you. I mean, Ismail Assar should have had a hat-trick. He was brilliant in this match. He was absolutely tearing AZ a new one. He managed to get 2 goals, one either side of half-time, and Lacroix as well got the opening goal of this game. Sven Mayens threatened to make it awkward at 2-1, but AZ weren't really in this contest for the most part. They're a decent side. They'll make the playoffs for sure, I think, but Palace very much are going to be one of the favourites to get through automatically into the round of 16, and with performances like that, they should do it quite comfortably, I reckon. Let's talk about Shelbourne, though. Shelbourne! They've shot themselves in the foot. This was a glorious opportunity, playing Drita of Kosovo at home. James Norris got sent off in the 18th minute. They had to play almost the entire game with 10 men. And that was the difference. It took a while for Drita to take the lead. Almir Ayezaraj, I don't know how you say his name, whatever his name is, he got the only goal of the game. And it was deserved. It was deserved. Drita were the better side. Largely because, if we're being honest, they were playing against 10 men for almost the entire game. It just took enough to be able to, they just had enough to wear them down at the Irish side, and unfortunately for them, it's a loss, and that's a bad loss. That's a golden opportunity that they have to win in them home games like that, but unfortunately, it was not to be in the end for them. It was a good result for Lincoln Red Imps though as well. I mean, they managed to get an amazing win last time out against Poznan, and they've got a decent point at home against Rijeka. Again, Rijeka of Croatia, they're a decent side in Europe. They're much more experienced at this level of competition than what the Red Imps are, and it was probably a fair result. They had to come from behind though. Tony Fruch got the opening goal for Rijeka after 41 minutes. And it was Kike Gomez. I think he scored against Poznan as well in the previous round of fixtures. He equalised, and it was a fair result. I mean, this was a pretty drab game, it must be said. There wasn't a lot of high quality football on show, which you kind of expect from these two sides. But the Red Imps, when it comes to the budget of the team and everything, they are not expected to get much in this Conference League, but they're making a good go of it. They've got a chance of getting into the playoffs. They're doing definitely better than sides like Aberdeen. It's not really saying much, but they're definitely doing better than them. So yeah, those are the 5 results. Those are the 5 results for the UK, Irish and Gibraltarian sides here on the channel, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. I will give a little mention to the table here. Crystal Palace are in 9th place on 6 points. They are just outside of the round of 16 automatic spots on goal difference behind Fiorentina of Italy. They lost in this match day as well for the first time. And surprisingly, the only side that's even in the playoffs, aside from Crystal Palace, is the Lincoln Red Imps. They're in 22nd. You have to be in the top 24 to make the playoffs on 4 points. They're just hanging in there. Fair play to them. Some much bigger sides in and around them, of course. But yeah, the rest of the guys, the Irish and the Scottish side there. Aberdeen down in 33rd. Shamrock Rovers in 31st, and Shelbourne in 30th. You know, they got some work to do. They are all just on 1 point. To be able to get into the playoffs, you need at least 3 as things stand. So it's looking sketchy. It's looking pretty sketchy. So yeah, that's our little review of the games in the Conference League this midweek. Guys, what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more like this, have a fantastic day wherever you're on the world today, and we'll see you very soon.